Hey everyone, Sophia here from mygreatchallenge.blogspot.com. This is it. Today's the day I am doing the floor in my office. Alright, so let me give you a quick look of where I'm at so far. So as you know, if you've been looking at my Facebook page, you know that the computers are back in business. And don't mind this, these are tools that I'm going to need today. So here's the desk. I was going to put some lacquer on it, and then the smell of it was just way too strong. Couldn't take it at all, and I just didn't want to bother everybody in the house with that. So the sheen that you see here is 3 layers of tung oil, which I'm actually going to use on the floor as well. That way I don't have to put polyurethane or anything. It dries relatively fast, so I'm going to be able to sand the floor today and stain it, and probably wait a couple of hours, and tonight before I go to bed put the tung oil, at least one coat of it. So I just want to show you real quick, and this is not the final tour because you know I'm going to do that. So look at the space that we've gained in the office, and I did remove my husband's ugly chair so that I have space. So this is what it looks like so far. Let me go on the other side, and that's what it looks like. All right, I still have tools, I still have some stuff here, some of the stain that I'm going to use. These are all reconnected, so everything is working, and we really love it. But today I have to do the floor. So the first thing I want to do is sand it. I was going to use the chemical to kind of like strip some of those stains, but I do have a good sander, so I'm going to try to see if my sander is going to be enough to just remove all of those stains, the paint stains from the previous owners, like the peach one right here, and then of course the ones that I created, the white and the blue ones, as well as the old stain. My only issue here is that, of course, rushing with the project and wanting to have the office back in business, I have everything reinstalled in here, and I'm going to sand. So of course I'm gonna have dust everywhere. So, but I came prepared. I have purchased a few of these. These are called the poly drop cloth, and you've seen them. Painters use them to cover furniture, and what I'm going to do is install them to cover the entire bookcase here all the way to the ground, and do the same thing here from underneath the desk all the way up, and then here covering my computer tower, the CPU and all of this, and over there, and probably part of the closet as well. I also brought in the shop vac. So what I'm going to do is, as I'm sanding, I'm going to have all of my personal items and my electronic equipment protected, but I'm also going to shop vac as I go. So I'm going to minimize as best as I can the amount of sawdust I'm going to collect as a result of sanding the floor. Alright, so my first step right now is to install those drop cloth. I'm just going to do that. I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll start sanding the floor. Okay, well, it looks like the hazmat team has arrived. I have everything covered, including the closet here. I covered the baseboards as well, and this entire bookcase right here. So I got 2 sanders. I got a belt sander, and then I got the round hand sander. I'm going to start by working the perimeters first with the round one, see how it works. I'm going to show you that in a second, and then once I have the perimeter down, I'll do the in-between and the middle of the room. So for the parts that are underneath the baseboard where I have paint, right, either from me or from the previous painters, I'm just using a piece of sandpaper from my belt sander, and I'm just doing it manually, and all I really want is just to remove that paint. Right, you see that? Because I can't reach that area right there with my regular sander because of the baseboard. It's stopping me. So I just want to kind of like do a nice job, remove that paint. I'm going to do the whole area here, then I'm going to go over with my little hand sander, kind of smooth it out. I'm going to use another grit. This is a very coarse one. I'm going to use another grit after that to kind of smooth it because I don't want to have all of the marks. So once I'm done with that, then I'll go to the larger pieces of stain, like this for instance. I'll take just my regular one. I'm going to show you how I remove it, and it's pretty easy. Right, so I have that big droplet gone. I'm going to do that with all of my droplets throughout the entire room. It's going to look like this marbleized floor for a minute, and then when I'll go over with my big belt sander, I'll just go back and forth following the wood grain, and then I'll be able to kind of like equalize the way my wood looks like, so I don't have this marbleized effect. This is where I'm at so far. I've removed all of the paint stains, whether by hand or with the little hand sander, and I'm just about ready to start with my belt sander. I'm going to start probably over there and start making my way back and forth, and then move to the second level, and then go like this until I get the entire room done. So this is the floor before I sand it, and this is what it looks like after sanding. So you see it's taking out most of the old color. It's nice and smooth. I'm trying to remove some of the dents that were made by the previous sanding job before they put the carpeting, I guess, where they didn't do a very good job here, so it kind of like curves down. It's difficult, but I think I got most of it. The problem is that once you stain it, you're going to see those bars here of darker colors, but what am I going to do? So anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'll show it to you when the whole room is down, and probably will stain after that. Okay, so it's 2:45. I gotta go get the kids. Let me show you where I'm at. I did pretty much 90% of the floor. Don't mind this in the middle. I'm working right now on details, which is pretty much getting like all the corners, and I'm using the hand sander for that, the little one. I want to make sure I have a nice change of color between, or transition between, the second floor and the surface. So here, let me show you what it would have looked like if I didn't do that. This is the closet, which I'm not going to redo, but I'm going to do the same transition right here. So I'm sanding as a straight mark from here, and I'm going to remove all of the old shellac and color, and then I got to do the corner here. So once this is done, I'm pretty much going to be ready to stain. There's some areas that are not perfect. You can see like there's some, you know, little stains and things. Now there used to be a radiator in this room a long time ago, and I think what happened is that it leaked. So there's some pieces of wood that are different, and I can feel it when I'm sanding. Some of them are nice and smooth, others are very brittle. It's a different type of wood. You couldn't see, like here for instance, you can totally tell that this is two different types. So now this one is the original one. It was supposed to be, I'm told, red Carolina pine. This I think is just plain pine. It's softer. I can when you sand it, it just feels different. Anyway, all right. So let me go get the kids, and when I come back, I'll finish that. I'm probably gonna have to mop everything just to make sure I'm getting every little itty bitty dust that's on the floor. Let it dry before I can stain. The dust itself, I vacuum as I was going. You saw that. It's okay, I don't have a lot of it, but I still have some dust. So, you know, I'm gonna have to go over the walls later on, and probably the windowsill, the door jamb, and all of that nonsense. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. So I'm back in business. I removed all of the hazmat stuff. Here's the floor. Alright, so if I had rented a professional sander, it definitely would look better, and it would have taken half an hour. This took about 3.5 hours, if not more, and it's not perfect, but I do want to show the age of the wood in the house. I don't want something that's brand new and that is going to be stripped down to bare wood. I don't want that. I want to show, you know, imperfections, because that's an old house. This house is over 80 something years old, so I want the floor to reflect that. What did I do? So I removed all the plastic stuff. I did take a wet rag, what kind of damp, and I did all of the walls and the baseboards just to get all the dust out. There's not a lot of dust on the table. There's a little bit, but really it's minimal. So I'm glad about that. I did not do the top of the windowsill, so let me see. Yeah, I do have to do that. So I'm gonna have to get the shop vac to do that. And then I did the floor, same thing with a quick mop. It's still a little damp right now. That's why there's some dark areas and stuff. So I'm gonna wait another 15 minutes, have the fan on, just to get it to dry. Then what I'm gonna do is take my Gunsmoke color. I'm gonna show it to you in a minute. And I'm gonna start staining the edges. I'm going to start with that, the edges all around, right? Oh, and then I didn't show you what it looked like. This is what the closet looked like. See, I did a kind of like a transition. I don't want to do the closet. I should have removed everything and do the closet, but I don't know. I don't feel like it. So it's not important to me, but the transition here is very good. So I'm going to do all the edges, and once I got that done, I'm going to fill in, right? I'm afraid the wood is going to absorb all of my stains, so I may have to put a second coat. We'll see. Once my first coat is on, I'll take a dry mop with a towel around it, and I'll just go over to remove the excess and just let it dry. Here's the color. This is Gunsmoke number 231, and here it is after a good mix. I'm just going to, and I'm wearing gloves, I'm just going to take my rag, same way that I did the desk, dip it and rub along the side. Again, I'm doing the outer edges first. I'm done staining. Here's the transition. It's a little harsh. I didn't expect the Gunsmoke to be that dark on that wood. For some reason it came out, I love the color, but for some reason it came out a little bit darker than I expected. I don't even have to use a rag over this to get the excess, because it really absorbed all of the stain. which is a good thing. It tells me that it's probably going to dry faster than I expected, and I'm going to be able to put the tongue oil, at least coat number 1 tonight. So I don't know what you think. Here's the desk again. If you can see the 2 colors, I think it brings out some of the red of the desk. I'm not sure. I'm really liking it. I can't wait to see it with the shine on it. When you walk in, yeah, you get to see that transition, but I don't know who's going to pay attention to that. I could always put a bar here, you know, like one of those metal bars that they use for thresholds. I can do that. It's looking pretty good. I'm liking it. I'm gonna let this dry. I gotta go to the supermarket and prepare dinner and stuff, and probably put the tongue oil coat number 1 right before dinner. So I can't believe my floor is actually dry already. What you see here is the leftover of the old polyurethane that I wasn't able to sand properly because it's kind of beveled in terms of the floor, but it looks absolutely beautiful, and I'm ready to put my first coat of tongue oil. So again, tongue oil is what I put on top of the desktop, and I'm going to show it to you again. So you see that beautiful sheen? Alright, so that's 3 coats of tongue oil. Tongue oil is a drying oil, meaning that once you put it on, it will dry to a glass-like finish, like almost like a resin. Alright, so it's not going to be something that's going to be tacky to the touch or oily or anything like that. It really does dry like glass, basically, or resin. So the more you put on, the more you're going to have this glossy finish and kind of thickness and see-through of the color, basically, of your wood. I don't know if I'm making sense, but usually when you buy, you see the piece of furniture they have on the cover here, when you buy those country kitchen furniture, they look like they have varnish on it. It's actually tongue oil, and it lasts much longer than varnish, by the way. So what happens with it is that you have to let it dry for 24 hours. And every time you let it dry, you put another coat. So I could put just 1 coat if I wanted a medium sheen, or I could do 6 coats if I wanted the floor to look like it's been literally, that it's glass, basically. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 1 coat and see what it looks like. And then I'm going to let it dry, and tomorrow I'll come back and see if I want to put a 2nd coat. Alright? Alright, so let me just go ahead and start putting it on so you get an idea of what it's gonna look like. Okay, and I can tell you, like, just looking at it this way, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to put more than 1 coat. So I just want to show you the difference between the area that I didn't use the tongue oil on yet, and then the area where it is on. So you see I already have a sheen here versus here. Like I said, it's very obvious I'm going to need a 2nd coat, maybe 3 coats. The other day when I did the tabletop, actually, the 2nd coat, I didn't wait for 24 hours. It was kind of dry, almost totally dry within, I would say about 2.5 hours. So before I go to bed, I may be able to do another one. It's probably not going to be in that video. The next time you'll see me, the floor will be very glossy. But for now, I'm just going to finish this area and close the door, have the fan on, and just let it dry and then see what happens in about 3 hours. Alright, when that's done, I have 1 coat on. I'm ready to go downstairs, make my dinner. I'm liking it. I think it looks good. It doesn't look brand new. That's not the look I was looking for anyway. There's some areas over there where I'm not crazy about the way the wood looks, but what am I going to do? I mean, it is the best sanding job I could possibly do. Don't put your feet on here. No, look, you left a teeny footprint.
I'm sorry.
And what am I going to do now?
Paint over it?
Yeah, remove the socks and put them in the hamper. Alright, let me see if I can remove the tiny little footprint right here. You see that? That's cute. Maybe I should keep it.
Keep it.
Nah, I don't want to keep it. because it's right there. All right, it's gone. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, so it's not perfect. I mean, you can tell there's like a almost like a I don't know, like a zebra type pattern. You can really see it here. So there's some spots where it's darker, and then some spot where it's like you can really see it underneath my desk. Where it's not so dark, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not, you know, it looks better than what it was. I like the way it looks with the desktop, and the transition doesn't bother me so much. I wouldn't go ahead and do a transition like this for every room in my house, but this one looks fine to me. It's not great, however, on the closet. Let me show you. You see that? Not great at all. I should have done the closet. That's my bad. Maybe I'll do it eventually, but there's going to be a curtain here, so you really won't see it. It's one of those little dark secrets that only I and my husband will know about. I guess you too now. Listen, when you do home projects, it's never going to be perfect. I am not a professional builder. I'm not a professional carpenter or a floor finisher, so there's going to be mistakes. Like the stain that ended up smearing on the white. So now once this is all done, I gotta go with my little tiny brush with the white paint and go over that, and you know, it is what it is. I gotta do that, and that's fine. I'm not mad about it. I like the way it looks. It gives the office a fresher look. Basically, that's what it is. The floor is old, so it's not gonna be perfect unless I had used, like I said, a professional sander. It's got the look I wanted, which is basically an old floor that has been maintained. That's the look I was looking for. Like, this is the original floor, and we've just maintained it, basically. All right. So anyway, I'm not gonna stick around for you guys to see what it looks like with a second coat or third coat and all of that. That's gonna be in the next video. Right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and make dinner, edit this video, post it, and then when I see you again, I will be making curtains, I think, and probably changing the fan, either that or trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with the fan. So there might be only 2 more videos and the whole series will be finished. This was my longest project. I thank you very much for sticking around and watching every single episode. You guys have been wonderful. I loved your feedback. It makes me feel very good to see that, you know, it's coming along and the progress is seen and appreciated. I got a couple of advice from you guys here and there, which I've taken. So, you know, it was a very long journey, and I'm very happy with the outcome so far. All right, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you're new, and I will talk to you later. Bye.